Welcome to the show. Oh my gosh, everyone's still streaming. I mean, a lot of people are. A lot of people are still streaming. Greetings indeed. Simply Think Dreams. Fun show, doubleheader today. In case you missed it on Twitter, we got Dylan on from Phiat. He's gonna be doing a demo of Phiat platform stuff, fatty wallets, things like that. Talking about those. So if you're a Phiat fan, drop it in the Telegram. I think I forgot to drop it in the Telegram. So yeah, whoever's available, drop it in the Telegram. Let people know that somebody here to answer questions and talk turkey and all that stuff. And then the second half, be coming on to leaving this stream and then going on with Wells to talk market conditions. And boy, they are looking rosy, aren't they? Look at that BTC premium. That's just FTX and all the gifts that just keep giving. So amazing, so amazing. Good times. Depending on how you look at it. I think good times in general, just being in this ecosystem, but definitely some interesting stuff to cover. So yeah, HEX headed to, we could see some interesting things. I mean, that's what all the people are talking about too, is how would we get another leg down? How far would it go? How much would HEX be affected and products like that? So we're going to find out. Interesting times ahead. Without further ado, welcome to the show, Dylan. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me again, sir.
Yeah. Dylan was here 2-3 months ago, I'm going to say, going over Phiat. I think something like that.
I believe so. Yeah, we got a few things, a few updates going on. Yeah. Some cool things fixing to get released. On Friday.
On Friday, that's right. Yeah, yep. I was telling you in the green screen. We were talking. I was saying this is one of the few teams who's actually been showing a lot of the stuff they've been working on. They have stuff on testnet. And then lots of things you can play with, and just some cool, some cool features, some cool products, and I think that's been the most interesting thing about your part of the ecosystem is you're actually be able to show people things. A lot of people have been asking a lot of projects, hey, we want to see this stuff, and maybe they have transparency, things around. Oh, they don't want to show all the cars. They think people copy them. I get it. There's some things around that as well that are valid, but. It's always nice to see a project that's building and you can actually see it and play with it. And y'all were just, you have some demos to show us today that's some really fun stuff.
Yes, sir. I think I lagged out for a second, but I think I'm back.
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay. Excellent.
It's StreamYard, the gift that keeps giving too. They changed the interface a little bit recently too. And I'm like, oh, the buttons I clicked before, there's a little bit different options now. So that's fun stuff. What's up, Chad? The Donner Schwans in the house. Quick question from UFO. Does Dylan have any connection with the Aave team?
No, I do not have any connection to the Aave team, sir. Okay. But we are forking Aave, right? Phiat is a fork of Aave. We've done a little touch-ups on our latest version on V3, which is the final version that's currently on testnet. Basically, the short pitch, it's, the bank for PulseChain, right? You can deposit a range of different assets from the RH ecosystem, and you can borrow and lend against them or for them. A question that you might ask yourself is, well, why do I need this, and what is this for, right? Well, as a typical user, if you just in general have the Phiat coin, right? There's the cash flows associated with the protocol itself because it's revenue sharing. So as people are borrowing and lending, HEX, Pulse, and PulseX, right? By staking the coin, you just get a nice allocation of Pulse, PulseX, HEX, stable coins, Hedron, all sorts of cool stuff, right? And if these coins are successful, the RH ecosystem stuff, the platform itself will also be successful. And, it's just a nice way to have a very passive income from all of your favorite coins in the RH ecosystem. It's, very eloquent, and there's a lot of cool stuff that you can do with it as well, besides the passive income stuff.
Can you just talk about too, Phiat, Fatty, what are the different, are they different products? Do they fit together? Can you just explain that before we get into the demo?
Sure. Yeah. So cool stuff here, right? So we have a fork of Aave, okay, which is Fiat, right? You can go and play with that on testnet right now. I think it's testnet.fiat.io, right? With the PH. You can go play with that right now. You can go deposit your coins over there, go borrow, go blend, go have fun, all sorts of stuff. We then have a read-only wallet aggregator, right? So you can see all of your PulseChain assets, your Ethereum assets that have to do with, the Richard Heart ecosystem, right? It'll be like DBank or like Zerion. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that stuff, but essentially, if you wanted to track all of your assets, right? Like I'm looking at it here on the screen, on my other screen, but I'll show you guys in a second. You can see the prices of your stuff. You can see, you can click on links to go and earn it on Fiat, right? So it takes you right to the Fiat webpage. There's a bunch of links for things like liquid loans, for Hedron. There's even links for Power City. It basically is like the bow tie that ties the entire community together, so everyone can use. And there is no coin for Fatty, right? It's this is we're having this built by third-party guys. This is not taking any dev time away from things like Fiat or Famous, right? So this is just something that we've built for us to share with everybody in the community, right? So this is, when it's done, it's free. Everybody can use it. It'll become a beast that never ends as more coins and stuff come into this ecosystem, right?
Right.
And then
10, yeah, I was gonna say 10 words or less. What are the three main products, just so people can like kind of just wrap their head around it while you're talking about it?
Yeah. So Fatty is the read-only wallet, shows you everything you got. Fiat is the bank of PulseChain, okay. And Famous is going to be a leverage trading exchange on PulseChain, right? So it'll be a derivative exchange on Pulse. You'll be able to I've been playing with the demo, the private one, for a week now, and it's actually pretty fun to go 20x long on HEX on testnet, right? And
Wow.
yeah, that's something that the community has been begging for almost for a while. I know Richard has. So that big reveal will be on Friday. We'll have the demo out for everybody to go use and go degenerately leverage trade on on testnet. But yeah, I mean, you'll be able to margin trade PulseX, HEX, Hedron. I think the loan token is on there. Zen is on there. So if you want to short Zen or long Zen, right, have at it. But yeah, man. So Fiat, fork of Aave, Fatty, the bow tie that ties the entire community together for everybody to use, right? And then Famous. Fiat and Famous, they're both cash flow positive. So as more people use it, the stakers of the Fiat token and the Fame token, they just get a portion of the fees from all of this stuff, which is, I mean, fantastic
Like
to
fee
me,
sharing.
right? Say that again.
Yeah. People like fee sharing. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, and then especially if it's not, sometimes it's better for the coin not to inflate on itself, right? And you're just collecting, a range of different RH ecosystem stuff. I think that's really bullish, right? But yeah, man, it's pretty exciting, dude.
You want to get into the demo? Show us a little bit about it.
Sure, yeah, I can show you guys the Fatty website here. Let's see, share screen. So this is still being built, but essentially, right, this is my testnet wallet. Shows you the prices of the different things that you have. As far as the Fiat protocol, you can see what you have staked, and then what you're earning and whatnot, and then what you're borrowing out, lending to the protocol and stuff. Shows you your liquidity positions on PulseX. Give me a second, and I'll pull up another. Shows you your Hedron stuff, and like tokenized stakes, right? Which this thing is not completely finished. This is just to give you you guys a rough idea of the direction we're heading, right? We're really trying to support as many things as we can within the ecosystem, right? Just so everyone has a place to view their things. Because I mean, I don't know if any of you guys have used the testnet block scout, but it's just not it, right?
Mm-hmm.
All your balances don't load. You can't see all of your coins. Sometimes the balance is just completely incorrect. So we figured we'd have this built and everything for everybody. But it shows you like this is some hex.com stakes on PulseChain. It shows you your ranking, shows you how much your wallet net worth is, how many days you have left to serve, all sorts of stuff, right?
I like the idea of a read-only wallet too, because a lot of the security concerns go away. You reduce the attack surface where, even if there were some security bug, it doesn't have access to your wallet. It can't send tokens or anything. It can only read balances. So I really, as a security background, I'm like, that's actually, it serves a really cool purpose. And then you get a lot of the data. And if you want to go transfer coins and stuff, you can use another wallet. You can use, whatever else you want to use. You can use app.costa.pro for all the Hedron stuff, all that. But this is just, really nice layout, and just shows you, I think the maximum ROI as you can get with a read-only wallet, especially with you having all the other projects and stuff listed on there. Which I was going to ask too, like what is the criteria? You guys just have to like the other projects, or what is the criteria to get listed on that left-hand side?
I mean, if people want to, are interested in having their things on this stuff, just send us a message, right? It takes a little bit of time to add these things because this is proprietary. We're building all this stuff. So it takes a little while, but yeah, I mean, if you're not a scam, right? There's no reason why these things can't be listed. But yeah, I mean, we're going to try to have as many things as we can to service in this community, right? So like you see on the right here, you'll see that all of these, they go to the respective links for the respective websites, right? So if I click on Liquid Loans, which I'm not going to do, but if you click on Liquid Loans, it'll take you to the Liquid Loans front end, and then you click on Power City. I think it just goes to the Power City website for right now, but yeah, I mean, we're really trying to get everything for everybody to use, and it's not just for Pulse. You got your assets on Ethereum, assets on Pulse, and then I think we have a couple other chains too. But when this becomes more complete, you guys can go have at it and start looking and just have literally, a complete picture of where all your stuff is across many of these chains. I really think this is like the bow tie. This is the bow tie that really, very nicely, eloquently ties the community together. Seriously, and no cost to anybody, right?
Yeah, I see an NFT tab as well. Is that live? You can view NFTs.
Not yet. Nope. So one of the NFT things that we do have is these tokenized stakes and stuff. These instant stakes for Hedron and whatnot. So you can see that these are on Ethereum for this particular wallet, and these are on PulseChain. But
Gotcha.
It's really exciting stuff, man. And on Friday we'll have our big reveal on Twitter Spaces. So keep an eye out for the famous Twitter account, which I can maybe send you the link to or something. But yeah,
drop in the chat, and I'll put it in our chat.
But yeah, on Black Friday, keep an eye out for what we're doing on Twitter.
Black Friday. Yeah, that's hard to forget. Okay.
Easy date, right? Easy date to remember. Yeah. Black Friday. I think it's 3:00 Eastern time. Can't miss
Eastern
it.
Time. Okay. Fast Abdul says, "Tell me about flash loans on Fiat."
Oh yeah. Yeah. So those will definitely be able to be used and utilized on PulseChain, right? Now you're going to have some coding experience, just like on Aave, right? Not any Joe Schmo can directly make a flash loan on Aave. They'd have to use something that somebody else had built, like for instance, Furu Combo or DeFi Saver, right? Those things you can use to build a flash loan on Ethereum or a couple of other chains, and you can execute it if it is profitable. If it's not, it just reverts, right? You kind of waste the gas. But on PulseChain, I don't know if they're going to support PulseChain right off the bat, but if they do, we'll see what we can do to have them support Fiat and stuff. But
or a new product idea. You already got 3 Ps.
I mean, true, right? Just throw it on
freedom,
Patty, sure. Yeah.
Freedom or fast, PHAFST. Just that'd be
you gotta throw a PH in there at some point.
Yeah. All the cool words, and then replace the first of them with a PH. Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, the devs have been doing flash loans on PulseX, and the profit and stuff goes to the stakers and whatnot, or the fees that they're incurring by borrowing the assets and stuff. So it helps stimulate the Fiat platform, right? But yes, the devs, you will be able to flash loan stuff if you have any coding experience.
Do the flash loans 101 real quick, just for people who are not familiar with how they work.
Yeah, so a flash loan is basically a loan that you take where you don't need any sort of collateral. But the caveat is you have to make the loan and pay the loan off in one block, right? So what you would be doing is you'd go to Aave, you would set up a transaction, and then you'd submit it, and the transaction would look something like, I'm going to take I don't know, $10,000 of USDC. I'm going to go to Uniswap. I'm going to go buy HEX on Uniswap. Then I'm going to go take my HEX, sell it for Ethereum on Uniswap, then take my Ethereum and sell it for USDC on Uniswap. And if there is a profitable trade, I will pay off what I owe to Aave plus the fee. And then if it's profitable, I'll keep a little bit of USDC profit or Ethereum profit, however that arbitrage plays out, and then pay off the loan in one block. So it'd be one complete transaction, and it'll pay the loan off in one transaction. That's what a flash loan is. There's many different ways you can use flash loans on Aave. There's a way to leverage on Aave with a flash loan, but it's very complicated, and I'm not going to be able to explain it to you off the top of my head. I have to it's complicated, but it's definitely doable, right?
But what are the risks with flash loans? I guess, are the risk versus reward? Like, why do people even deploy them?
So with a flash loan, the risk is your transaction fee, and the transaction just not going through, right? So you just forfeit some Ethereum for a transaction fee. On Ethereum, that could be expensive for some people, right? But on PulseChain, you could probably, get away with trying to do flash loans all day for a couple pennies, right? So, yep.
A couple pennies. Things are cheaper on PulseChain. There you go. Nice.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, flash loans are great. You can use them to, arbitrage prices and level out the prices, so everyone gets the best price possible across all of the dexes and stuff. It also you could also use it to your advantage if there is some extreme mispricing on some platforms, or there's a there's many ways you can use this stuff, right? You know, your imagination can literally run wild. But yeah, we'll definitely have support for flash loans on Fiat. But you know,
So we got Fiat in the chat answering questions as well. UFO says, and liquidate loans. Yeah, liquidation on Fiat separate. Get done by bots. Not.
yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to?
So,
Yeah. Go into that real quick.
yeah. So, you know, if let's give an example. If you have, let's say you've deposited USDC, okay, and you borrowed HEX, okay, and then you sold HEX on the market, all right, which is effectively a short position on Fiat, okay. Well, what happens when the HEX price goes up? Okay, well, since you borrowed it and it is becoming worth more versus your collateral, essentially what will happen is, you know, your collateral will start to be sold to go buy what you owe. So in this case, your USDC collateral will be used to go buy up HEX on the market to pay off uh, the creditor, right? So the person that you owe money to, which effectively would push the HEX price up even higher. So that's why we like shorters getting liquidated, essentially. And Richard really likes that. You know, he drools over that. You know, he can't wait for people to short HEX on anything, on Ethereum or PulseChain, right? Which this will exist on Ethereum in I think January. So keep an eye out for that. Fiat will exist on Ethereum.
Okay, so launching on Ethereum first, and then since PulseChain's out, you'll be ready for it.
Yeah. So, you know, we can go down that rabbit hole. There will be, you know, two protocols. One will be on Ethereum, and one will be relaunched on PulseChain. So the forked version on Pulse, you know, will not work anymore. Okay, it'll be relaunched, and you'll have, you know, all of those working assets over there. You know, and the Fiat one on Ethereum will continue to run and do its thing. So, but you know, you'll be able to do all the same cool stuff, right? You'll be able to deposit HEX, borrow it. You know, most likely have all the blue chip assets that currently exist on Aave and things. You know, if you do have any assets on Aave, you know, probably maybe you'll get a higher APY in Fiat on Ethereum, or eFiat rather. So you know, that's very exciting. You know, there'll be more details about how that relates to Famous. You know, eFiat, how that relates to Famous. More details on that on Friday. Famous probably will not be launched on Ethereum. That, you know, that's a PulseChain thing. Now, I mean, if PulseChain takes another year to come out, you know, who's to say Famous can't come out on ETH, right? So, you know, that's to be seen. But
are you saying the bottom of the barrel be in 1 year?
that's that'd be really, you know, that'd be really bad. But
yeah, I don't want that 2023. Give me a different 2023. That'll be a rough one.
I don't need a, you know, control V, control C of 2022, please. No, don't do that to me, please.
Jeez.
Please, sir.
Crazy to even theorize. Wow.
I
had a question due from UFO. Does Dylan know what self deconstruct transactions are and how they can break the logic of lending pool contracts?
Does Dylan know what self-destruct transactions are and how they can break the logic of lending pool contracts? I have no idea. I am not that technically advanced. But, you know, if you DM me that question, I can send it to the devs. t.me/hexastani on Telegram. But I mean, if this isn't currently an issue on Aave, it's not going to be an issue for us. You know, we're literally forking the Aave code, right? So, yeah, like, you know, if there is some sort of exploit, right? They would be far more profitable of exploiting Aave, which currently holds around $10 billion in assets, than Fiat, right? That probably isn't going to have, you know, $10 billion of assets, you know, right now, right? So, yeah, I don't know much about that stuff you mentioned. So, but I can
Okay.
certainly ask about it.
Yeah, you have to follow up in the Telegram with them. Maybe the devs will be able to give you some good answers too. Anything else on the interface you want to show, Fatty, or any other demos?
I can show you the Phiat demo, but I mean, it's, if you give me a second, I can pull it up.
Yeah, throw it up. We got time.
Yes, sir. But yeah, I'm really excited about the famous stuff. Like, I opened it and was very impressed. Very impressed.
Yeah, so that's what we'll have to wait till Friday to find out on that.
Yes.
Sure.
I wish I could say more, but unfortunately I cannot. We want to really get you guys, get a hard on going with you guys. So
save it for Black Friday.
Yeah, save it for
It's
Black
got to be
Friday.
a quote. Save your hard on for Black Friday.
Yeah, right. Okay. Let me pull this up over here. Oh man.
Atlantic says, "How impressed were you, Dylan?" Give us a taste. Give us a little taste of how impressed you were.
Okay, so let's put it in perspective, right? So I go on a famous. First thing I do is go to HEX, add liquidity because there is none. Add a bunch of liquidity so I can go trade, and then my buddy right? We're like, all right, well, let's have some fun, and I find out that he's going short on HEX, right? And so I'm like, don't mind if I do. And so he opened up a $600,000 short on HEX, and it was only a 1.1x leverage. So it was, I'd have to pump the price up a lot to liquidate his ass, right? So I had to pump the price of HEX from $1.27 to $2. I pumped it up to $2.40 and liquidated his ass. And I was opening positions. I have a P&L card that I can't show yet, but I had a P&L card of a 49.5x long on X, just some crazy degenerate shit, right? And made like 10,000% on that trade, some crazy stuff. But yeah, it was really fun, and it's already accumulating a lot of fee generation from these liquidations, right? So, and just general use. So, but yes, I was very impressed, very excited about this. So, I'm very,
Have you reached out to Eric Wall or Peter McCormick to give them a beta test of the platform so they could use it, for shorting?
So yeah, interesting thing. We have a private chat with Eric. We talked to him. He's actually become more active in these chats. But yes, we talk to Eric all the time, right? He's a funny guy, great guy. He quite likes the cynical nature that we have going on in the back chats. Just this self-deprecating humor. But yes,
I think he's a secret HEX. I think he exists to pump the price one way or another. Maybe in like the next level type stuff. But I think at the end of the day, we're gonna see him come out and be like a fan of some sort. I think in the future.
I'll tell you what, I strongly agree with this statement here. And if he doesn't admit to owning any HEX outside of any bets, he definitely does hold at least $3,000 worth of HEX because somebody bet him that it would never pass $1. Will HEX ever be $1 bet, right? But it's such an easy one-sided bet that if the price goes down, he just buys the bottom and he covers his bet for like pennies on the dollar, right? So
right.
But there's a couple of those bets going on out in the community outside of Eric Wall, but yes, he's a funny guy. We will definitely bait him into shorting HEX to zero if he thinks it's a Ponzi, right? So please, if you know people that don't like HEX, this is their chance to short the Ponzi, right? This is their chance. This is their chance to short the Ponzi. You know, short it to zero, guys. Please short HEX, right?
Nothing better than using your haters to your advantage.
Exactly.
I mean, even in the chat, sometimes somebody will come in and they'll say something, and I'm like, come on, that's you're probably just trolling. But then I'll post it and be like, all right, let's talk about it. Let's steel man their side of it. Let's actually get something good out of this. And then you turn trolls into contributors. That's what I like to do.
Exactly. So I'm going to show you the there you go. So this is the third version of Fiat. The second version has pretty much 10x more liquidity, that you can borrow and lend. We have some risk parameters that we've added to kind of mitigate, people with large wallets versus, small liquidity pools. It's important that you don't allow, bad debt to happen, right? So, limiting how much people can deposit at one particular time for one wallet, we think is important for things like HEX, which, at the moment isn't extremely liquid, right? So, if like the Godwill was just able to get free reign on HEX and just, deposit all of their HEX on this and borrow everything else, right? Well, if they needed to get liquidated, well, there isn't enough money in the liquidity pool to pay for their liquidation, so we've added some risk factors to mitigate against that. So that's something we've done that's proprietary. So that'll be very useful for the platform. But as you can see, there's a range of different currencies that you can deposit on here, and all of these are accrued through staking, right? So you can see here, you can see my position that I have staked, and then this is the accrued interest of what I have, just passively acquired, right? So, I can claim these rewards at any time, right? So, you claim these daily, hourly, by the minute, which you probably shouldn't do, but you can. And these get deposited back onto the platform as collateral. So that's pretty cool. The APYs on version 2 are a little bit better because that's where most of the users still have their funds, right? So they still haven't transferred all their stuff over to V3, but it's testnet and it's kind of not as alive as it was 6 months ago. So it's to be expected, but money will probably not be this cheap on mainnet. I'll just tell you that. It'll probably run a little bit more expensive for borrowers than it is currently right now. So, you're probably not going to be able to borrow HEX at a 1.54% interest rate, right? So,
right.
That's just naturally probably not going to happen. You're going to have people that are going to be borrowing it a little bit more than they do on testnet, right? So. But yeah, this is the third version of Fiat. This would be something you'll expect to see probably on January of next year. So on Ethereum. So that'll be exciting.
Yeah, something exciting to look forward to. I know people are talking about PulseChain, maybe in the spring and stuff too. But wow, there's a lot of launches. I mean, there'll be some products, liquid loans and stuff, probably after a few weeks afterwards or so. But I think, just come back to the 2023 conversation. I don't think it's going to be, I hope it's not a control X, a control Z, a control, get it out of here. Hopefully it's like, oh, this is pleasant surprise. I mean, maybe the other markets, maybe a lot of markets and ecosystems outside of the RH community melt down, and maybe that happens and stuff, but maybe we are the shining city on the hill after all.
Yeah. I mean, that whole Sam Bankman-Fried thing, man, that was a pretty big monkey wrench, it's really fucking crazy what happened. But it does provide an important lesson for everybody that, you can call them what they are, but a pretty good word for them would be degenerate assholes, right? That have control over these centralized exchanges. You're better off doing things on chain, like what we have here, right? Like
not your keys, not your coins. That's the biggest
exactly.
lesson, I think.
Yep. And Aave is the shining city on the hill in the DeFi world, as well as Uniswap, as well as what we're forking with the leverage trading perpetuals on chain, right? These things have very good cash flows attached to them, right? So that just inherently makes these things valuable. Exactly. Money wrenches, yes. Monkey wrenches, they do create opportunities. That's very true. But if you're the one on the wrong side of that monkey wrench, you got fucking obliterated by that wrench. So,
Yeah,
but yes.
it'll shake out one way or another. I think that maybe FTX made the bottom. Maybe it'll take a few weeks for everything to come out, but maybe it did, and maybe we go sideways until we go up.
Historical events would suggest that this contagion might continue to happen. So, and that would be not so good.
If we measure it from the summer, when Luna and Mashinsky and all that stuff came out, I wonder what is the average life cycle of big crypto failings or just big failings of industry? Like what time scale that spans? Is it 6 months? Is it that kind of thing? That'd be interesting to know.
I think a good case study would be like what happened in 2008. And this wallet, I have no idea. This is an ever growing thing, and it's being built by a third party. They're taking their time, but it'll come out when it comes out, and when we think it's ready, y'all will be able to use it and everything. But there's still many things that need to be added to it and touched up. So
I'm waiting on the devs, just like all of you. Greatest hits from RH.
Yeah, we're waiting on the devs, patiently waiting. Yes.
Yeah. What were you saying about 2008?
But yeah, I mean, 2008 had some similar contagion happen, right? So a couple of hedge funds went under, and then one of the big banks went under, and then another really big bank went under, and then the Fed had to step in, right? So this might be the Lehman of 2008 or something like this, and it could keep going, right? So the Genesis thing, that happened. They had all their assets on FTX, and it's still remains to be seen who else is affected by this stuff. So,
well, hopefully, if everything's faster in crypto, maybe we'll get through it faster as well. Maybe that's a hope we can do. Yeah. A couple years for 2008, maybe a couple years in traditional markets is 6 months in crypto, maybe at most.
Yeah, it's like last month was like a lifetime in a market almost.
Dude,
it felt like,
it's crazy. This year, insane. The last 6 to 8 months just felt like 2 or 3 years. It really has.
I know. Yeah, it's actually, yeah. From where will the yield for leveraged product come? So I'm going to assume that you are asking where the yield comes from, right? So the yield for fiat comes from borrowers. So when more people start to borrow particular assets, the APY that they pay for gets more expensive because they're using more of the liquidity. Okay, so if less people are borrowing, like for instance, we have $2.9 million of HEX liquidity, okay, and there's only a $47,000 loan. Your borrow APY is very low. If I go here and I borrow a shitload of HEX, real quick, for example purposes, right? I will end up paying the lender a higher APY, okay? And you'll see this after the transaction goes through. And you'll notice that there is a spread between See, now you can see that I am getting absolutely screwed because I'm paying now a 316% APY for my loan, right? So I affect everybody in the pool. So that person that was borrowing that 47K also has to pay this variable interest rate. And the depositor is now making 62.7% just for depositing their assets on Fiat. And you'll notice that 62 deposit APY is not the same as 316 borrow APY. Well, because the rest of that APY goes to the stakers. So, if you have your Fiat staked, you get a percent of, the borrower's loan repayment, right? Or their APY. So, that's where the yield comes from. It doesn't come from, well, I mean, yes, it comes from the borrowers lending out, doing things, speculating, borrowing funds, going and doing what they need to do in the business world and real life, what have you. Okay. If they get liquidated, their collateral will be sold to pay off their loans. Right. So, for instance, when 3AC, when they were starting to go under, or when Celsius was starting to go under, okay, the first thing that they did was pay back Aave. Why? Because they would have lost way more money if they let that get liquidated. Whereas in Legacy, they had, they had credit, which isn't, in code. They could just default on that and, claim bankruptcy. But you can't do that with Aave. You can't say, hey, I'm bankrupt. Please don't liquidate my assets, because Aave, you're locked in the code. If you don't pay back your loan, you don't get your shit back, right? So that was the first thing that they paid off for this particular reason. So,
Very interesting. I like hearing the backstory of some of the big players actually using platforms like this. And yeah, we have your collateral, so you better pay us back first. Wow.
Yes, it was actually really funny to watch Three Arrows Capital. They have a $1 billion load, and they're using like $5,000 NFTs that they had just sold to try and pay for it. I mean, that's just that's just the bottom of the barrel right there,
Wow. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I love how NFTs are used as collateral.
They had that in their wallet, and it was just things that they had lying around because they were, literally, their ass is on fire at this point. So they're just selling everything to just, make sure that they can still fund their position. So everything doesn't get liquidated, right?
Gotcha.
So they were literally just selling whatever they had to go and keep paying off their debt. So, but yes, that was really funny to watch.
I guess you should be able to use NFTs as collateral as long as you would need like a lot more of it, right? You would have to like really stick because the volatility, I guess, would be the factor on why that would be harder to do. So
yeah, that's a whole rabbit hole that you can go down. But there are things that exist where you could post NFTs as collateral. I believe on Aave V3, you can post liquidity positions as collateral, which are NFTs, but they have hard assets behind them. Maybe you'll see something like that on Fiat one day. But as things grow, and become bigger fish, they just have cooler stuff on them, right? So, but obviously, we're not going to promise you anything. That's just something cool will just happen on the exchange or on Fiat, right? So,
no expectations.
Yeah, exactly, right. But there's all sorts of things you can do with this stuff. It just takes a little bit of work. So,
quickly, good wrap up here in a minute, but I got a couple questions here. Can you just briefly go through tokenomics real quick for Fiat and Famous?
Sure. So both of them have a fixed supply. Both of them you'll be able to stake for their respective platforms. So, for instance, on Fiat, you'll be able to stake your Fiat and just passively accrue, things like Pulse, HEX, PulseX, Hedron. We have a Helgo coin here, USDC. As the platform grows, naturally, you'll just steadily get, a little bit more of these different coins, right? So this also applies for Famous. It works relatively in the same way. You get a share of the fees on the margin trading DEX, right? So as more people use it, as there's more liquidity provided for others to use, as people, get liquidated, because people are going to get liquidated, because that just happens, a share of those fees will be given to the Famous stakers. And, they'll be getting all of the coins that are available to be traded and everything. So both of these coins have zero inflation. So the supply is what it is. You know, if you stake the coins, you get a share of the fee generation. If you choose not to, then you can just speculate with them, right? So, but that's the use cases. That's the tokenomics. That's what you can do with them.
Gotcha. And if so some countries now banning leverage trading with fiat use. Yeah, have any thoughts, or maybe the devs know more about this too, but just using, I guess that's what normally is used in exchanges and stuff to identify people. It's like, are you coming from a country that doesn't allow this or that, whatever the platform has? Is that something fiat will do?
So fiat probably is not going to use this stuff because Aave doesn't use this stuff, right? So,
okay.
Whereas Famous, is a leverage trading DEX. It's a DEX, right? So theoretically, anybody could build a front end to this. And once it's launched, it's not like you can just turn it off, right? So I don't know. I don't know if it will have a IP geolocation stuff, but there's other things that you can use. Like I'm not going to say that you should use a VPN to get on like Bybit or something, but people have tended to do these things, so I have no idea. But
censorship resistance VPNs can help with that.
Yeah, but I mean, generally speaking, this stuff is probably not going to be as big as a Bybit for a year maybe, or a couple of years. But so I don't think that that's something to be necessarily worried about, I would imagine. But I have no, don't know.
Gotcha. Well, so to wrap up here in just a second, let me ask you. Let's see, we got one more question. Good, maybe this will be quick. Questions. HEX go under 2 cents. Speculation.
So there's a little bit of an interesting dynamic happening on HEX right now, where the bigger market players know, relatively speaking, what's going on. So what is going on? There is a large wallet that is currently trying to exit a position, right? And they're trying to exit like somewhere north of 200 million HEX, right? So a big position. Now, there isn't that much liquidity. So what this guy is doing is selling chicken nugget size, transactions here and there, right? I mean, a couple $1,000s at a time. Like, this guy really wants to get as much money as he can out of the liquidity pool, okay? So with that being said, buyers have noticed this and have just stopped buying. Because screw this guy, right? This guy is trying to, he emergency end staked and he paid a 90 million HEX, or I think it was a 60 million HEX end stake penalty, something like that, right? Absurd amount of HEX that he burned.
Wow.
So he really wants out, but he's not dumping it all at once. So he's milking as much as he can out of the liquidity pool and trying to, not incur any slippage. So with that being said, I think it's quite possible that we could probably, any reasonable person would be able to purchase HEX under 2 cents, perhaps, maybe in a couple of weeks. But, keep an eye out, set some limits on Matcha, just in case this person decides enough is enough and fat fingers the price, right? So,
Wow. Why would you exit HEX right now? I mean, it's like right now.
Listen, this guy was dumping at 40 cents, okay? And he stopped for a while, and now he's dumping again. So either he spent all of his money or he's really scared. So, like,
jeez. I mean, 40 cents is much more explainable than 2 or 3 cents. Like,
yeah. And I mean, he cashed out a
jeez.
lot at 40 cents, a couple $1 million. I think maybe north of 10. So, he got his money out at the top and he restaked a lot of it. So,
yeah, you would think that he's like, okay, is it just not a long-term time horizon thinking? It's just not like, hey, the market's down right now. You saw what you made on the last market run up. You don't think it's ever going to happen again. You just don't want to wait a year or two. Like, what? I don't get the rationale on it. At least he's not market selling. I guess using liquidity pools is, at least there's that. But that's definitely sounds like it's holding the price down.
oh, he's definitely market selling.
He's also market selling,
but he's just trying. Oh yeah, he's market selling. He's trying to get everything he can out of the price. He's market selling for sure.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you go to HEX trading and you ask, t.me/HEX trading, and you just ask, who's dumping, and then everyone will tell you and show you the address that is dumping. It's DO1, right? Just ask for that address, and you can see what they're doing. But he's dumping for chicken nuggets. So keep an eye on that wallet. Wait for him to finish, and then have at it. Right? You're probably get a good deal.
I did see what I think Crispy tweeted about there being really good yield for stakers on HEX one day. I wonder if that was the 60 million burn day.
Yep, that was the day. Yep, we got, I think, 10 HEX per t-shirt that day.
That's the one. That's the one. Wow. That's crazy, man. I want to ask you a couple before we get out of here. What are the, and I'm always curious too, from if you're involved with a product and you're building and stuff like that, I always like to know, like, what are the other, what are the top 2 to 5 products that you're going to be using when PulseChain launches? I imagine Phiat's on there, but like, is there any other product that you're excited to use once we get launch going?
Sure. Definitely I'll be using PulseChain, right? So that's at the top of the list, right? That's the chain. I'll be on it, right? I'll definitely be using PulseX just so I can trade my currencies and my assets and stuff. I will probably be utilizing Phiat a lot, and probably be staking on Famous. I think second to that, I'll probably next be using liquid loans. Depending on how much I have liquid, probably will provide a market for liquid loans for like 2 weeks, just so people can go and trade their USDL and stuff. And then, once it matures enough, I'll just, I'll take my liquidity out and stuff and let everybody else do that stuff. Yeah, I think that's probably all I'm going to be using off the top of my head. I know KG is building a wallet. That's pretty cool. Maybe, when mainnet comes and I see more of it, perhaps I'll use that. I have no idea. But I'll be using Hedron to utilize my my inflation, and things like that. Yeah, just that's all I can think of at the moment. So
yeah, do you think we have everything we need when PulseChain launches?
That's a good question. I think we will have lots of bells and whistles for everybody to play with. I think we have pretty much everything we need. Yes. Yeah, I think we do. I think we do. I think we have all the cool stuff. And eventually, we'll get some even cooler stuff as time goes on. So, dude, this thing, this can turn into a real beast. Just takes time, So.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's it's taken a while. HEX took a while, but when it comes out, all this stuff, everyone's like, oh, it's taking too long. Plans have changed. The fork, we're doing different stuff. And it's like, just wait. When it comes out, you're gonna forget all about it. You're gonna forget about how long you waited. You're gonna you'll be enjoying a lot of stuff. just hang in there, everyone. 2023, please be a good year. Please be a good year. I think it'll be a good year regardless of the macro environment. Just for us, we're in such a special community. Special
I think so
community.
too. I think so too. Yes, I agree with this. But if anything, it'll just take time. With time heals all wounds, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even degenerate people like Sam Bankman-Fried, that wound eventually will get healed. Okay, it's okay, everybody.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I hope. I guess the best case we can think of coming out of it is, a lot of people lost a lot of money, a lot of investors may set crypto investment back a while too, and all that stuff. Hopefully, the silver lining is we got closer to the bottom, and 2023 will be we'll get through it faster than it would have been otherwise. I guess that's maybe a silver lining we can look forward to.
Yeah. So,
Dylan, been amazing. Thanks for the demo. I think a lot of people really like to see products, clicking through the buttons and showing them, what you all been busy working on. And that really helps with the community and people who believe in the projects for sure.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me on, guys. And hey, don't forget Black Friday, t.me/famousX. And I'll link the, I think I still have the.
Yeah. Drop it in the private chat and I'll drop it in here as well.
All right, that's not the right link. Hold on.
Oh. I've seen that link before.
Yeah. Let's see.
I suspect you dropped in some telegrams. Appreciate that.
Yes, sir. Copy link to tweet. I'll just send you a tweet. How about that?
Okay.
There you go. Famous Crypto. That should be the access tweet. And just to make sure.
Yeah, I'll post it. Yeah, everyone in the chat, if you click on that, that will take you to, I haven't clicked on it, but I imagine the information you need.
Yeah, it's kind of a joke, but yes, this is this is the Twitter space.
Oh yeah. Okay, so this link to the Twitter space is coming up Friday. Gotcha.
Yes, sir. So
Black Friday, everyone.
Yep, Black Friday. The details of Famous and the backbone of specifically what it is, lots of cool things about it. That'll be on Friday. So, and then there'll also be a lot of the builders, YouTubers, RHMax. I welcome you to come on, right, and just speak with us and everything like that. So, but
yeah, man, I have to join. I haven't been doing a lot of spaces, but I keep trying to find one that I can hop on for a minute and talk and get to know people and stuff. So I'm gonna have to do that, man. I'm gonna have to do that. Black Friday. Don't have any plans.
Yeah, spaces are fun. Believe me.
Yeah, and they work because Richard's been doing them for a reason.
Exactly.
They work. He added a lot of people in there from Twitter.
Yep.
Well, thanks, man. I just want to direct everyone over to. I dropped the link in the chat, but I'm conversation with Wells starting right after this, and man, great conversation. Yeah, everyone head on over there if you want to hear about markets and bloodbaths and maybe some hope. I don't know. We'll get into it with Wells.
Yep. Everybody go bear.
Yeah, bear. Nice. You got the steer horn. I haven't seen one of those for a long time.
Yep.
Nice, man. Well, appreciate you coming on and giving us all the information. I learned every time I talk to you, I learned a lot about leverage trading. Like I kind of get this refresher every time too, which is just excited to see a working platform that Peter McCormick and Eric Wall and all their biggest fans can put their money where their mouth is, right? And
exactly.
With the platform.
Put your money where your mouth is. Yes.
Yeah, because you know where my money is at.
Yeah, exactly.
I've not lost faith. I've not lost faith.
There you go. I like it.
Cool.
So,
cool, man.
All right.
Well, yeah, hop on and talk to and listen to me and Wells if you want. We'll be talking markets too. It sounded like you had a good perspective. And everyone, come to the next one. Again, dropped in the chat and check out the famous X Telegram right there. Dylan's got on his profile, and we'll see you very soon. We are.